All right, so that was the message by Pope Francis there. And for more on this, we are joined in by my colleague Ramesh Ramachandran, who's presently in Singapore and is tracking every little detail for us. Good morning to you, Ramesh. What are the engagements in Singapore on Monday, on the eve of the summit? What can we expect to happen today?
Right, so today, Monday, is the last day before the Tuesday morning meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. Now, there's not much planned today between both sides as they meet here in Singapore. U.S. Foreign Minister Mike Pompeo had a breakfast meeting with his foreign policy team, including Song Kim, the lead negotiator on North Korea. And after that breakfast meeting, Song Kim met with the North Korean delegation at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel here in Singapore for last-minute preparations for Tuesday morning's meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. And Donald Trump's meeting with the Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Hsien Loong, is being described as a courtesy call on the Singaporean leadership. Remember, Singapore is the host country for the Tuesday morning's meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. And it is customary for visiting leaders to pay a courtesy call on the leadership of the host country. So that's how the Trump meeting with Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong is being described. So that's more or less sums up the day's engagements here on the eve of the much anticipated summit meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. Talking about Kim Jong-un, there's no official word yet on how he has spent the day or what he might do later in the day, but we're given to understand that he's closeted with his inner core team of officials making last-minute preparations for tomorrow's meeting with Donald Trump.
All right, so interesting developments are to take place. Now, we know how the United States is actually approaching this entire summit. We know what Donald Trump has said, but he said that in the matter of the next few minutes, as soon as he meets Kim Jong-un, he will know as to how serious the North Koreans are about this summit. But how is North Korea actually viewing this summit? Now, how is the North Korean media viewing the summit, and how have they covered it so far?
An official North Korean media delegation is part of the entourage of Kim Jong-un, who reached Singapore on Sunday afternoon. Now, the official state broadcaster of North Korea and the agency KCNA, the Korean Central News Agency, is known to produce and broadcast and publish reports a bit delayed. Now, they've taken a day or two to actually report day's events. So they have begun reporting on the Trump-Kim summit, and we saw the reportage in the KCNA this morning, and the KCNA in particular talking about the issues at hand here, including the issue of denuclearization, also the issue of a permanent peace on the Korean peninsula, and it goes on to describe that other matters will be discussed as required by the changed era in the North Korea-US relationship. And that, to my mind, is interesting and significant. They talk about the changed era in North Korea-US ties. The report goes on to say that the Trump-Kim meeting is taking place under the great attention and expectation of the whole world. So North Korea is acutely aware of the significance of this meeting. Remember, the first time ever in American history, the sitting American president will be meeting a North Korean leader. The North Korean delegation will comprise Kim Yong-chol, the vice chairman of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. It also includes Ri So-young, the vice party chair on international affairs, and No Kwang-chol, the minister of the People's Armed Forces. So there is no Melania Trump, there is no Ri Sol-ju, wife of Kim Jong-un, or no Kim Yo-jong, the sister of the North Korean leader. So essentially, this is all officials and ministers who will be in attendance for the Trump-Kim summit here in Singapore.
All right, some interesting protocol there, that there will be no Melania Trump and there will be no Mrs. Kim Jong-un as well. And also, Ramesh, the meeting will take place at 9 a.m. Singapore time tomorrow. But also talk us through about what is expected to happen, the sequence of engagements that are likely to take place tomorrow.
So Tuesday is a big day for North Korea and the U.S. As I've been reporting here on WION, this is an unprecedented meeting which has never ever happened before in American history or North Korean history for that matter. First time a sitting American president will be meeting a North Korean leader, this time in Singapore, a neutral third-party location for the first ever meeting or a summit meeting between American and North Korean leaders. There's a sense of anticipation really here in Singapore as well for the summit meeting, how it will go and what it might achieve going forward. But talking about the summit meeting itself, it'll begin sharp 9 a.m. local time. That's about 6:30 in the morning in India, when Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un will reach the Capella Hotel, not far from where I'm standing at the moment, on the Sentosa Island for the much anticipated summit meeting between the two leaders. Now, Kim Jong-un will be arriving from the St. Regis Hotel, whereas Donald Trump will be arriving from the Shangri-La Hotel, both in the neighborhood of the Capella Hotel, but about 20 minutes drive away in the central commercial district of Singapore. We're given to understand that the first engagement will be a one-on-one meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, when they will be seated with their respective interpreters or translators, and they'll exchange notes on where things stand at the moment and where they might be headed going forward. That'll be followed by an extended meeting between the respective officials as well. Now, Kim Jong-un will be leaving Singapore at about 2 p.m. local time on Tuesday, so that gives very little time for the North Korean delegation to brief the media on the outcome of the summit. So in all likelihood, the briefing might come from the American delegation as to what transpired in the Trump-Kim meeting at the Capella Hotel on Sentosa Island here in Singapore. And that said, the North Korean delegation, therefore, is not expected to brief the media as such, because they'll be leaving at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. But that said, there is a sense of anticipation here in Singapore, and the Singaporean government, for that matter, has launched a commemorative coin which has the pictures of, if I can show it to you on the Singapore newspaper here, it has on one side it has a picture of the handshake between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, and on the reverse side there is a symbol of peace, a pigeon with flowers, flower decoration. So this has been freshly minted by the Singapore government and is being offered as a commemorative memento for people who might want to cherish these memories for a long, long time to come in the future. But that said, one interesting feature is that the American side will be expecting to take away from this summit in terms of the progress achieved, incremental progress on the summit meetings on issues going forward. Essentially, this puts pressure on Donald Trump to tell the world that he can be a good deal maker, not just a deal breaker. Remember, Trump has pulled America out of the Paris Climate Change Accord. He's pulled America out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. He's been criticized around the world for his for imposing tariffs on European and Canadian imports. So he's been roundly criticized at the recent G7 meeting as well. So there's pressure on Trump to prove the world, to tell the world that he can be a good deal maker as well. So a lot rides on the Trump-Kim meeting here in Singapore.